صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.
Chapter on the characteristics of Iblis, Satan, and his soldiers. Narrated Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her. Magic was worked on the Prophet, peace be upon him, so that he began to fancy that he was doing a thing which he was not actually doing. One day, he invoked Allah for a long period and then said, I feel that Allah has inspired me as how to cure myself. Two persons came to me in my dream and sat, one by my head and the other by my feet. One of them asked the other, What is the ailment of this man? The other replied, He has been bewitched. The first asked, Who has bewitched him? The other replied, Labid bin al-Arsam. The first one asked, What material has he used? The other replied, A comb, the hair gathered on it, and the outer skin of the pollen of the male date palm. The first asked, Where is that? The other replied, It is in the well of Dharwan. So the Prophet, peace be upon him, went out towards the well, and then returned, and said to me on his return, Its date palms, the date palms near the well, were like the heads of the devils. I asked, Did you take out those things with which the magic was worked? He said, No. As for me, Allah has cured me, and I am afraid that this action may spread evil amongst the people. Later on, the well was filled up with earth. Narrated Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, During your sleep, Satan knots 3 knots at the back of the head of each of you, and he reads and exhales the following words at each knot. The night is long, so keep on sleeping. If that person wakes up and remembers Allah, then 1 knot is undone. And when he performs ablution, the 2nd knot is undone. And when he offers salah, prayers, all the knots are undone. And he gets up in the morning energetic, in a good mood, and with a good heart. Otherwise, he gets up lazy, and with not a good heart and mood. Narrated Abdullah, may Allah be pleased with him, it was mentioned before the Prophet, peace be upon him, that there was a man who slept the night till morning after sunrise. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, He is a man whose ears, or ear, Satan had urinated. Narrated Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, If any one of you, when having sexual relation with his wife, says, In the name of Allah, O Allah, protect us from Satan, and prevent Satan from approaching our offspring, you are going to give us. And if he begets a child as a result of that relation, Satan will not harm it. Narrated Ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, When the upper edge of the sun appears in the morning, don't pray, perform a salah, prayer, till the sun appears in full. And when the lower edge of the sun sets, don't pray, perform a salah, prayer, till it sets completely. Continued Hadith number 3272. And you should not seek to offer salah, prayer, at sunrise, or sunset, for the sun rises between 2 sides of the head of the Satan. Narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, may Allah be pleased with him, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, If while you are offering salah, prayer, somebody intends to pass in front of you, prevent him. And should he insist, prevent him again. And if he insists again, fight with him. That is, prevent him violently. For example, pushing him violently, because such a person is a Satan. See Hadith number 509. Narrated Muhammad bin Sirin, Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, said, Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, put me in charge of the zakat of Ramadan, that is, zakatul fitr. Someone came to me and started scooping some of the food stuff of zakat with both hands. I caught him and told him that I would take him to Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him. Then Abu Hurairah told the whole narration and added, He, that is the thief, said, Whenever you go to your bed, recite the verse Ayat al-Kursi, Quran, chapter 2, verse 255. For then a guardian from Allah will be guarding you, and Satan will not approach you till dawn. On that, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, He told you the truth, though he is a liar. And he, the thief himself, was the Satan. Narrated Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, Satan comes to one of you and says, Who created so-and-so? who created so-and-so, till he says, who has created your Lord? So when he reaches up to such a question, one should seek refuge with Allah and give up such thoughts. Narrated Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, when the month of Ramadan comes, the gates of paradise are opened and the gates of the hellfire are closed, and the devils are chained. Narrated Ubay bin Ka'b that he heard Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, saying, the Prophet Moses, said to his boy servant, bring us our morning meal. Quran, chapter 18, verse 62. The latter said, do you remember when we betook ourselves to the rock? I indeed forgot the fish, and none but Shaitan, Satan, made me forget to remember it. Quran, chapter 18, verse 63. Musa did not feel tired till he had crossed the place which Allah ordered him to go to. Narrated Abdullah bin Umar, may Allah be pleased with them, I saw Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, pointing towards the east, saying, look, there will be al-fitna, trial or affliction. Surely, al-fitna will emerge from there, where the side of the head of Satan comes out. See Hadith number 3104. Narrated Jabir, may Allah be pleased with him, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, when night falls, then keep your children close to you, for the devils spread out then. An hour later, you can let them free, and close the gates of your house at night, and mention Allah's name thereupon, and put off your lights. Mention Allah's name thereupon, and cover your utensils, and mention Allah's name thereupon. And if you don't have something to cover your utensils, you may put across it something, for example, a piece of wood, etc. Narrated Safiya bint Huyyi, while Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, was in i'tikaf, I called on him at night, and having had a talk with him, I got up to depart. He got up also to accompany me to my dwelling place, which was then in the house of Usama bin Zayd. 2 Ansari men passed by, and when they saw the Prophet, peace be upon him, they hastened away. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said to them, don't hurry, it is Safiya, the daughter of Huyyi, that is, my wife. They said, glorified be Allah, O Allah's Messenger, you are far away from any suspicion. He said, Satan circulates in a human being as blood circulates in it, and I was afraid that Satan might put an evil thought or something in your hearts. Footnote: I'tikaf, seclusion in a mosque for the purpose of worshipping Allah only. The one in such a state should not have sexual relations with his wife, and one is not allowed to leave the mosque except for a very short period, and that is only for very urgent necessity, for example, answering the call of nature or joining a funeral procession, etc. Narrated Sulaiman bin Surad, while I was sitting in the company of the Prophet, peace be upon him, 2 men abused each other, and the face of one of them became red with anger, and his jugular vein swelled. That is, he became furious. On that, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, I know a word, the saying of which will cause him to relax, if he does say it. If he says, A'udhu billahi minash shaytan, I seek refuge with Allah from Satan, then all his anger will go away. Somebody said to him, the Prophet, peace be upon him, has said, seek refuge with Allah from Satan. The angry man said, am I mad? Narrated Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with them, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, if any one of you on having sexual relation with his wife says, O Allah, protect me from Satan, and prevent Satan from approaching the offspring you are going to give me, and if it happens that the lady conceives a child, Satan will neither harm that child, nor will overpower him. Narrated Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, the Prophet, peace be upon him, offered a salah, prayer, and after finishing, he said, Satan came in front of me, trying persistently to divert my attention from the salah, prayer, but Allah gave me the strength to overpower him. Narrated Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, when the call for the salah, prayer, is pronounced, Satan takes to his heels, passing wind with noise. When the call for the salah is finished, he comes back, and when the iqamah is pronounced, he again takes his heels, and after its completion, he returns again to interfere between the person offering salah, prayer, and his heart, saying to him, remember this or that thing, till the person forgets whether he has offered 3 or 4 rak'ah. So, if one forgets whether he has offered 3 or 4 rak'ah, he should perform 2 prostrations of sahv, that is, forgetfulness. Narrated Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, the Prophet peace be upon him said, when any human being is born, Satan touches him at both sides of the body with his 2 fingers, except Isa, Jesus, the son of Maryam, Mary, whom Satan tried to touch but failed. So he touched the placenta cover instead. Narrated Al-Qama, I went to Sham and asked, who is here? The people said, Abu Darda. Abu Darda said, is the person whom Allah has protected against Satan, as Allah's Messenger peace be upon him said, amongst you. The sub-narrator, Mughira, said that the person who was given Allah's refuge through the tongue of the Prophet peace be upon him was Ammar bin Yasir. Footnote: Sham, the region comprising Syria, Palestine, Lebanon, and Jordan. Narrated Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, the Prophet peace be upon him said, while the angels talk amidst the clouds about things that are going to happen on earth, the devils hear a word of what they say, and pour it in the ears of a foreteller as one pours something in a bottle, and they add 100 lies to that one word. Narrated Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, the Prophet peace be upon him said, yawning is from Satan, and if any one of you yawns, he should check his yawning as much as possible. For if any one of you, during the act of yawning, should say, ha, Satan will laugh at him. Narrated Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, on the day of the battle of Uhud, when Al-Mushrikun were defeated, Satan shouted, O slaves of Allah, beware of the forces at your back. And on that, the Muslims of the front files fought with the Muslims of the back files, thinking they were Al-Mushrikun. Hudhayfa looked back to see his father, Al-Yaman, being attacked by the Muslims. He shouted, O Allah's slaves, my father, my father. By Allah, they did not stop till they killed him. Hudhayfa said, may Allah forgive you. Urwa said that Hudhayfa continued invoking good, invoking Allah to forgive the killer of his father, till he met Allah, that is, died. Narrated Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, I asked the Prophet peace be upon him about the one looking here and there during the Salah, prayer. He replied, it is what Satan steals from the Salah, prayers of any one of you. See Hadith number 751. Narrated Abu Qatada, the Prophet peace be upon him said, a good, righteous dream is from Allah, and a bad or evil dream is from Satan. So if any one of you has a bad dream of which he gets afraid, he should spit on his left side, and should seek refuge with Allah from its evil, for then it will not harm him. Narrated Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, Allah's Messenger peace be upon him said, if one says 100 times in a day, لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير. None has the right to be worshipped but Allah, the alone. He is the one and has no partner. To him belongs the kingdom of the universe, and for him are all the praises. And he has the power to do everything, the omnipotent. One will get the reward of manumitting 10 slaves, and 100 good deeds will be written in his account, and 100 bad deeds will be wiped off or erased from his account. And on that day, he will be protected from the morning till evening from Satan. And nobody will be superior to him except one who has done more than that which he has done. Footnote: more may mean here more times of recitation of this prayer, or more good deeds of different nature. Narrated Sa'ad bin Abi Waqqas, once Umar asked the permission to see Allah's Messenger peace be upon him, in whose company there were some Qurayshi women who were talking to him and asking him for more financial support, raising their voices. When Umar asked permission to enter, the women got up quickly, hurrying to screen themselves. When Allah's Messenger peace be upon him admitted Umar, Allah's Messenger peace be upon him was smiling. Umar asked, O Allah's Messenger, may Allah keep you always happy. Allah's Messenger peace be upon him said, I am astonished at these women who were with me. As soon as they heard your voice, they hastened to screen themselves. Umar said, O Allah's Messenger, you have more right to be feared by them. Then he addressed those women, saying, O enemies of your own souls, do you fear me and not Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him? They replied, Yes, for you are a fearful and fierce man as compared with Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him. On that, Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said to Umar, By him in whose hands my soul is, whenever Satan sees you taking a bath, he follows a path other than yours. Footnote: Some Qurayshi women who were talking to him and asking him for more financial support, raising their voices means, perhaps this took place before the believers were ordered to lower their voices when talking to Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him. Narrated Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, If any one of you rouses from sleep and performs the ablution, he should wash his nose by putting water in it and then blowing it out thrice, because Satan has stayed in the upper part of his nose all the night. Footnote: We should believe that Satan actually stays in the upper part of one's nose, though we cannot perceive how, for this is related to the unseen world of which we know nothing, except what Allah tells us through His Messenger, peace be upon him.